I'm Janet, and I recently sold everything in Ontario and moved to Nova Scotia. And I know a lot of people would say, oh, you're from away. Well, for myself, there's a deeper purpose why I'm here. I'm actually adopted, and I decided to do a search about 11 years ago to find out who my birth family was. When I was adopted, my parents divorced when they were only 2. So I lived my life between my mom, my dad, my stepsisters, foster sisters, lots of different changes in my life throughout it. So I guess I always felt like a part of me was missing. And it took me a long time before I realized that I really needed to do that. So when I was turning 40, I decided it was time to do that. This is now, I guess, 12 years later, like I was saying. And it was crazy. It took 3 years, but it was crazy once I had that piece of paper in my hand, what that did. I couldn't believe I had a phone number with the same area code where I lived. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where's this little town? And I had to find out where it was. So my daughter and I went, and we went and met my birth mom. And she's a happy hippie. And it was quite funny to meet her because I realized at the root of who I am so much like that. Now I'm getting emotional. Anyways, it's been amazing. Well, so what I found out was that my roots are actually here in Nova Scotia. And I had come to Nova Scotia on many camping trips with boyfriends and stuff. Always loved Nova Scotia, but didn't know that this is where my roots actually were. So my great-grandma and grandma were born on Cape Sable Island. So my now husband and I came for a trip late fall 2017 to come and meet my aunt and uncle and to find out where these roots were. We fell in love with the area. We actually got engaged down there. And we decided that we would go home to Ontario and sell everything and start a new chapter in our lives. So here we are today, and we ended up, everything fell apart when we got here though. We had a transport full of furniture. We were going to start a B&B down near Barrington. And all of a sudden we had nowhere to live and all this stuff arriving. So we lived in a cottage for 3 weeks and we just tried to pull things together. Ended up in Lunenburg, and I couldn't be happier. We're in an amazing space. The way I feel is that everything fell apart so it could fall together. My business back home was Kindred Spirits. I've been Kindred Spirits for 20 years now. For myself, Kindred Spirits is about connecting, creating, bringing kindred spirits together to help one another to heal. I'm a registered massage therapist for 20 years, and I do many, many modalities. And not much wonder I ended up in the field I'm in, just because I guess I needed to heal myself before, so that I could help others do the same. We just opened this beautiful space in Bridgewater here, and with a co-partner, Becky, my husband and I, we got married last year. We feel that everything fell apart so it could fall together, and we're loving Nova Scotia. We love being here. And I guess my words of wisdom are to heal your heart, look at the things that are hurting in your life, and only you can fix those things. Only you can seek out what you need. That's what I've done. I can't tell you how much more complete it's made myself. Follow your heart, follow your dreams. Like, this was a dream back home that we were going to do, and here we are. And I couldn't be happier here as well. But finding my mom, it was really neat. Like, I called her, and it was the most awkward conversation I've ever had to have in my life. It's like, hi, I'm, of course, not the name that I would have been at birth, right? I'm Janet, I'm your daughter. And she didn't want to be found for a long time. Her and a lot of people started a community in Killaloe, Ontario. They all left Toronto. And it's kind of funny because there's actually a commune there called, Morning Glory. And that's the name of my public school. So there are so many pieces that tie together that you can't deny it. We're actually going to write a book because she's an organic farmer, and her place is called Echoes of the Past, and I'm Kindred Spirits. So I said, well, I think the title of the book is already there. So it will be Kindred Spirits, Echoes of the Past. We want to bring our stories together to tell people why not to be afraid to find out these things and to heal them. And so, yeah, it was very cool meeting her for the first time. She lived in a very rustic log house. She was taking in foster children, and my dad and my stepmom were actually taking in foster kids when I lived with them. So how history repeats itself, and you don't even realize that. Would my story still be the same? I don't really know, but it's the best thing I could have done for myself, because it healed a lot of unanswered questions and healed my heart. Made me more complete. 15 years old, and that, at 16 I ran away, and because I couldn't find my place. I couldn't find, like I said, with my adoptive parents divorcing so young, I didn't know who I was supposed to be or what was what. And so, it took me 11 years before I felt I could try to reach out to him. I did a DNA test, and I had the results on Family Day. I was the troubled, hurt teenage girl too. But you carry those things forward in life, and it tears it. I believe cancer comes from things that are eating you up. And I have a really good book that I give out to clients when I know they need it, or I'll give them different tools, whether it's a deck of cards or a book called You Can Heal Your Life, because the one is Louise Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life. And I just lent that out last week, because I think it's just talking to the right people. And even if it's for them writing a letter and then burning that letter or doing it, just get it out of your heart, get it out of your head, because that stuff just eats away at you, and you can't enjoy life in the moment because you're so caught up in worries and hate and anger. And, well, you can't be angry at something you don't even know what it is, and if you don't give it a try, how would you ever know what the outcome could be? And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want. Like what just happened with my father. But I knew I had to do that because I always would have wondered, right? And it's like, well, if you wonder and you don't care about knowing, then stay stuck. I feel you stay stuck. And it took me a long time. I didn't want to do it as an angry teenager, though. I did it as an adult, and I raised my daughter as a single mom, too. So, I mean, history still repeated itself, and I think, oh, wow. And I was engaged 5 times before I met Dan. But I know that because I healed a lot of my heart pieces, that's why I finally found the right guy. Because I was searching for a man that would give me that love of man I never knew. So I feel like just meeting Sylvia, at least I knew the story then. It's like, even if you don't meet the person, at least find out what your story is. We all have a story. That I have many kindred spirits from Ontario that one day a client came in and that was the name she said. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's it, because it just encompassed what I always wanted it to be. I want to bring kindred spirits, like-minded people together to help grow and nourish and whatever their gifts are, whether it's art or massage or Reiki or probably things I've never even thought of yet. It's a community of helping one another. And wouldn't it be great if we had a place in Costa Rica or somewhere we could go do retreats and just feel safe and comfortable and experience abundance together? And yeah, it's not about getting rich off one another. It's about getting rich together in a different way, enriching each other. Maybe that's the words I'm looking for. And then this Kindred Spirits here didn't happen until, well, we met our angel Sheila in December. And that's when we started working on the space and we did all the work in here ourselves. And so it was a few months. But that's why I want to tell people, don't ever give up on your dreams or your hopes just because you get discouraged and things happen. You can make it happen. You have to believe that it can happen. And I mean, like I said, this was what we wanted to do back home, a very similar business model. It was an 1800s building, and I knew all the people that could be involved. Here, they're all just coming together, and that's why I so much believe in that community and the kindred spirits, because it brings in the kindred spirits, and we've hardly even started getting going yet. We haven't advertised. We are just reaching out slowly, and the people are coming, and that's exactly what we want for everybody.